Nocturne number 9 in A minor. This is the first nocturne in Book 2 of this series of nocturnes, and in Book 2, the music becomes a little more difficult. The stretches in the left hand are wider. You're going to find more ornamentation. You're going to find things like 2 against 3, 3 against 4, all of these elements that appear so often in the Chopin nocturnes, but then realize too that these are still easier than most all of the Chopin nocturnes. In the opening of this nocturne, when the right hand comes in measure 3, we have a dotted quarter note followed by a series of eighth notes. It's in 9/8 meter, but what's important is to really listen to the endings of notes, because so often in this piece we need to do what I call match tones and not start the second note after a long note with an accent. So if I were to play just the melody starting in measure 3, it would sound like this. But if I were to do this and not listen to the matching tones, it'll sound like I have an accent on my thumb. So just listen. And we want to avoid things like this all the way through the nocturne so that we get a more seamless, very, very lyrical, long legato line. In measure 4, we have some 2 against 3. Sometimes it's easier to play 2 against 3 if you just say the words not difficult, not difficult. That corresponds with the rhythms. We have not difficult, not difficult, not difficult. It'll help to really keep those rhythms very, very steady. In the middle section of this nocturne, we have a little more involved left hand accompaniment. But what I've done in this left hand is to create a very consistent fingering pattern no matter what key we start on. We have this pattern which sounds like this. And then it goes to again. So each time we have a group of 5-2-1, I would block this out and then block out next group, which starts with a 3-2-1. And this third group starts with a 4-2-1. So the third finger always crosses over and then the fourth finger crosses over. Every single time, no matter what key I go to, that fingering is completely consistent, which makes it a little easier to play. Let me just play a little bit of those hands together at measure 17. Down there in measure 21, we just have a whole series of broken chord patterns that move up the keys, but every single time we cross over with a third finger. That's why fingering is so important, especially in pieces like this, because it can make the piece actually much easier to play, in addition to sounding more musical and comfortable in the hand. Let's take a look at measure 35. And I want to work into this risoluto section to give you an idea of what I would like this to sound like. And again, a little more 2 against 3s. And then the right hand crosses over and it goes back and forth between this little motive in the right hand with, again, think of 2 different instruments playing that motive all the way through.